everyone, real quick announcement before this video starts. I am going to be at Pensacon this year, February 28th to March 1st. I am so excited. I'm going to be on a YouTube creators panel with Holden Hardman on the 29th. All of the information I'll put right here and in the description below. And if you want to get your tickets, pensacon.com is where you'll go. And if you're in the Northwest Florida area, I really can't wait to meet you. Other than that, let's get this video started. We're starting to get our first looks at Marvel's Disney Plus TV shows, and honestly, they look awesome. I'm way more excited about them than I should be. As more and more info comes out about these shows and the future movie projects, I can't help but imagine that Marvel is entering a brand new phase of production. I mean, they're literally entering into a new phase, phase 4, I know this, but what I'm talking about is a metaphorical phase. I think that Marvel is entering their experimental phase. The MCU is one of the longest running movie series ever. I can't help but compare their progression with that of Disney animations, in that over time, Disney has had different eras of production. They had their Golden Age, Wartime Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Renaissance, post-Renaissance, and revival. It's definitely not a direct comparison because Disney animation isn't an overarching story, and it also has 60 years and Marvel has only been around for 12. What I'm trying to say is the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like a microcosm of the Disney animation eras. What I'm saying is they both have eras, and we can see the progression of production and film quality, and the different phases can be compared to the different eras of Disney animation. I don't really know where this tangent is going. My point is, throughout the 3 phases of the MCU that we've seen so far, we can clearly see the developmental changes that Marvel has made in their production process. And now, with phase 4, Marvel is entering its next age, where we'll hopefully see a lot of exciting changes within the franchise and the story. Marvel is in an unprecedented and unique situation right now. They can do anything. With the success of Endgame and the power of Disney, Marvel has a blank check for the foreseeable future, meaning that Marvel can virtually create whatever TV show or movie they want, with whatever actors, producers, artists, directors, stories, and budget that they want. Essentially, for the first time ever, Marvel is limitless. They're not even limited by a timeline or even the same universe. Right now, Marvel has infinite potential to experiment with unlimited possibilities, characters, themes, and storylines, and I really hope they do.
Just be careful who you change into.
When this Phase 4 lineup was first announced, I'll admit I was skeptical. To me, it seemed disjointed and unexpected. I thought that it would destroy the timeline, the story arc, the sanctity of marriage. I mean, Marvel. I didn't want the MCU that I know and love to change so wildly, but now I realize that's exactly what Marvel should and has to do. Marvel has to change wildly, grow, and branch off into new genres and timelines and universes because that's the next natural step for a franchise that is so successful. They can't keep doing the same thing because the story won't allow them to anymore. Not to mention, they could become very irrelevant very fast if they don't keep the audience on their toes. Kevin Feige has basically said every hero is on the table and we don't have and shouldn't have any idea of what to expect. Look at how different these TV shows are going to be. Not just different from what Marvel is used to creating and putting out, but different from each other. WandaVision is going to be a self-aware, psychedelic, alternate universe sitcom, Falcon and the Winter Soldier is going to be a heist thriller, and Loki is going to be a time-traveling anti-hero pseudo-horror. Marvel is experimenting with wildly different genres, and that's exciting.
I am Loki of Asgard, and I am burdened with glorious purpose.
Marvel can get away with more things now than any other studio can, which means Marvel has a unique opportunity to empower new artists, creators, and actors with different perspectives and life experiences. I would go so far as to say that Marvel has a responsibility to represent diverse audiences now, and push the boundaries of what's acceptable to see on screen. We are just getting a peek at the direction Marvel is taking with this new responsibility, with Black Panther casting Kamal Nanjiani and all the Asian representation coming up with Shang-Chi. I want to see more diversity in the cast and creative team of Marvel, and I think Phase 4 will bring that. What I'm saying is, Marvel is stepping into a new territory where they have the potential and resources to represent people and stories that have been oppressed, especially in film and television. Marvel has a responsibility to show every person that they can be a superhero and not just watch them. Or even worse, just be the villain. Okay, I'm going to make a video about queer coding and Loki eventually, probably when the Loki TV series comes out, so it'll be more relevant. If I'm talking about representation in Phase 4, I need to talk about it just a little bit. Loki is so canonically queer in the comics, and it's time for Marvel to go from queer baiting to queer representation. Real, tangible, plot-relevant queer representation. And they can do that with Loki.
They never repay me. It was in my favor because nobody
I do have a TikTok, and I am a little ashamed. They can also do queer representation with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because wouldn't it be great if the first openly gay couple in the MCU was also interracial? Y'all do realize there was an interspecies couple in the MCU before there was an interracial one? In their experimental phase, Marvel has the best opportunity to introduce more representation, and if the racist, homophobic Disney executives and China stays out of it, then we might see Marvel tell these diverse stories in Phase 4.
I'm gonna burn this place to the ground.
Marvel's experimental phase, if allowed to reach its full potential, will be a wild acid trip, and I can't wait for it to blow my mind. Marvel has the incredible potential to break barriers and change the universe as we know it with this new phase, and I am so excited to see what happens. Phase 4 gives me this feeling that they are going to just absolutely fuck up the timeline and the universe as we know it, in the best way possible. Marvel needs this experimental phase in order to break from the mold they created for themselves. The best way to make change is to create a whole new environment in which that change can happen, which means while experimenting with theme, genre, plot, and character, Marvel needs to change the universe as we know it. Phase 4 will be the universal change that needs to happen. Right now, as it stands, the MCU is one timeline and one universe, but in order to move forward and tell comic book stories, Marvel has to break those boundaries. The comics are far from one universe and one timeline, so the Marvel Cinematic Universe needs to catch up and start fucking up the timeline. Now, it may not sound good, we've definitely had some bad timeline fuck-ups in the past, but there is a good way to fuck up a timeline, and the only way to do that is to experiment with your characters and your timeline and your universe. I think Marvel is on track to fuck up the timeline in a good way. I hope these next few Marvel projects are mind-blowing, psychedelic, time-traveling, universe-altering stories, not only because it will be fun to watch, but also because Marvel needs to lay the groundwork for whatever stories and directions they're going to take next. If Marvel opens up their universe to alternate timelines and universes, then the Eternals, mutants, and the Fantastic Four will integrate more naturally into the ultimate story. And that's the whole idea, right? To create a motion picture version of the comics? Well, the comics are far from one timeline and one universe, so Marvel needs to catch up. To create a motion picture version of the Marvel comics, at this point involves a little mind-blowing alternate timeline shit. I was skeptical of change, but now I'm totally on board. I want Marvel to take risks, be creative, and blow my freaking mind.
Have you seen that before in a gift shop?
And as long as Marvel keeps blowing my mind, I'll keep making these videos and you'll keep watching them, hopefully. If you like this video, click the like button. Subscribe for more content like this. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think about these new Marvel TV shows. I'm super excited for them and I want to make more videos about them. And of course, check out pensacon.com. I am super excited for my panel. Other than that, I guess I'm going to burn this place to the ground. That's cold.